Newcastle came back from 1-0 down to win 2-1 against Brentford at the weekend in a fantastic win, a huge 3 points, and the 5th straight win in a row, which has got Newcastle looking pretty good for a top 4 spot at the moment. But it wasn't just the win that caught people's eyes at the weekend. Anthony Gordon getting subbed off, having a little bit of a huff, has made headlines, so I want to talk about that. Amanda Staveley has also made headlines. She's been talking to architects about the possible future expansion of St James's Park, and it's been confirmed the Newcastle players will be going on a pre-season tour in the summer. We know where they're going, and we're going to talk about that as well. Welcome back, guys, to Toon Tuesdays, your weekly roundup of Newcastle United news. This is a series that I've been doing for years. And we basically talk about Newcastle. There's loads going on at the moment, so I thought, you know what? Let's put it all into one video. So I hope you guys have all enjoyed the long weekend. As I say, it always helps at the weekend when Newcastle get a win. A big 3 points against Brentford. 3 wins in 6 days and 5 wins in a row. It's not been too bad, has it? What was bad, actually, was the first 45 minutes of that game. After how good we were against West Ham in the midweek, it was a different team, to be honest. We were slow. They came out quick. We've got Nick Pope to thank for saving the penalty. We've got thankfully Tony was offside for one of the goals. Having said that, should they really have had a second penalty? No, not for me. I think you look at some of the samples where penalties haven't been given for high foot. For example, when Bruno pretty much kicked Shaw's head off, Bruno Fernandes, nothing was given. Shaw's foot took a little bit, took the ref about 10 minutes to give it. Is it clear and obvious when they've got to look at it for 10 minutes? Not in my eyes. So yeah, I think we weren't great. VAR wasn't doing us any favours. Come out second half, different team. You think, I would love to be a fly on the wall to have listened to what Eddie Howe said in that half-time talk, because whatever it was, I think he just put a rocket up them, to be honest. Came out, different side, made changes quick. He thought, you know what, let's get Wilson on. Let's play Isak and Wilson up front together. Wilson gets the assist for Isak goal. Joe Linton, great run from him, great getting into the box. Pass/shot across that goes in. I'll take it. And as I say, from what was such a poor 45 minutes to come out with a win, the first time Brentford have lost at home in a long time, wasn't too bad, was it? And as I say, it's put us in a very, very nice place in the league. We spoke about the great win against Manchester United not too long ago. That was one that a lot of people were talking about. They're very close to us in the league. We had to get it done, but we also had to follow it up. It's one thing to win a game. It's consistency, momentum, sticking with what we're doing well and getting it over the line. Lots of happy fans. And we move on to another away game, which will be our 3rd away game in a row. We play Villa this Saturday, 12:30 kickoff on Sky. So we'll be doing a full preview later in the week. So if you're not subscribed, be sure to do so and look out for that. I think it will be tough. I actually saw a comment on Twitter. I think it was Ian Smith who posted it, saying it just shows what the owners were looking for. Because you think Eddie Howe's been fantastic for us. We know Unai Emery was a person they were interested in as well. He's not done too bad, has he? So yeah, it will be tough, that one. But we have said that about the last few games, and we've showed up. So we've got to make sure we show up again. As I've mentioned, despite how great the game was, lots of attention has been paid to it. And I'd love to know your thoughts down below. And it was the fact that Anthony Gordon came off, had a little bit of a tantrum about it. Obviously, Eddie Howe had to make quick changes in the game. He made quick changes, to have Gordon on the pitch. Once things were going our way, once we wanted to make sure we weren't going to lose, he brought him off again. And look, I get it. No player likes being subbed. To come on as a sub and go off as a sub mustn't feel great. Having said that, I don't know if you guys, we probably will. Your brains will be better. Memories will be better than mine. When Murphy went off, and then he came off like 5 minutes later because of a red card or an injury, I can't remember now. And he was smiling, he was laughing. I think Murphy has won the hearts of the Geordie Nation, or at least he's won mine at the moment. He's not the most talented, but he works goddamn hard, and you can tell he's enjoying every single second of it. So compare Murphy laughing and joking when he got taken off. He understands. He understands it was for the better of the team. We needed to get defenders on the pitch. Gordon didn't have quite the same reaction, did he? Eddie Howe clearly trying to have a word with them and say, look, this is why I've did it. We're getting near the end of the game. We need to make sure we're keeping the defence tight with not long to go. Gordon wasn't having it. He wasn't having any of it, was he? He was kind of pushing them away. You look at it two ways. And look, for me, it isn't what I wanted to see. You know, it's not the way I would potentially like to see our players behave. At the end of, for me, I understand if he is upset about that, but it's for the better of the team. Eddie Howe's the man in charge. Eddie Howe has made some fantastic changes across the last couple of games that have really made big differences to this team, and that's the difference when there's a manager in a job and a manager who's not, or that's why Eddie Howe's getting paid to make those decisions that make quick impacts to games and score goals, come out second half and play amazing. He made the same decision again to take somebody off to bring on somebody more defensive. And it is not what I want to see. You can flip it the other way and say that that's a player right there that it means a lot to. Anthony Gordon, we knew when he came in, and we all joked about it, that he was a bit of a worky ticket. You know, it's the kind of player that you don't like on the other team, but you like on your team because he gets stuck in, and we saw that again in the game. Came on, stuck in straight away, putting himself about. We've seen that for the last few games that he's been featured in. That's what you want from him. What you get with that fiery type player who will be aggressive and a bit nippy and a bit kicky and wind the other team up, what you also get is that on the other side as well is that someone who wears the heart on the sleeve, lets their emotions fly, and he wasn't scared to be emotional when Eddie Howe took him off, and he wasn't happy about it. There's obviously a line, what goes on the pitch stays on the pitch kind of thing, and you don't really want that crossing over, but he's that kind of guy, you know? So it isn't great. It's not what I wanted to see, but am I going to be upset about it? And do I think that Eddie Howe has probably shaken his hand 30 minutes later and already be over it before the newspaper even had a chance to print it? Yeah, to be honest. I think that's forgotten. I think that was probably forgotten 5 minutes after full time. We've come in, we've won. I reckon Gordon's probably said, sorry, boss, and it's done, and that's the way it needs to be. And we'll no doubt hear a little bit more. I imagine that Eddie Howe will get asked about it in the press conference later this week, heading into the Villa game. So we'll wait and see. Eddie Howe probably wouldn't tell us either way anyway, would he? But yeah, you can let me know your thoughts on that down below. I think that the outburst isn't nice to see, but is that kind of what you get when you buy in that kind of player? You let me know your thoughts down below. As I've mentioned, Amanda Staveley, Strawberry Place, St James's Park, extensions. It's what we've been talking about for a little while, pretty much since Amanda Staveley and the new ownership came in. There's been great conversations about the hope to see St James's Park extended. It was literally going on this morning with tickets for the Villa... That can't be the Villa game. Yeah, the Villa game. Tickets for the Villa game going off. They sold out for the away game this weekend. We've got the Everton game not too far away as well for away tickets. The home games are selling out like gold dust, and everybody wants to know how we can get more people into the stadium. Well, one thing that'll help is that we have sanctioned the safe standing heading into next season. We already had it in the away end. They've now sanctioned it for the Gallagher seats. I don't sit over there, I sit in the leaders, but I've got a friend of mine who does sit over there. He had a questionnaire through to actually answer whether he would be happy to keep his seat there with the safe standing, or if you would prefer to relocate it. Now, I suppose, and he actually did say there was somebody near him who was a bit older and said that really they couldn't stand for the whole game. I believe that it will be safe standing, that the poles will be there, the bollards will be there, a rest on, but they'll still keep the seat. And that's because if we do hopefully get into Europe, I'm pretty sure they don't allow safe standing in certain competitions. So the seats will still be there, but obviously if you're sat down and everybody else is stood up in front of you, you're not going to have a great view. But they were putting on their options so that if you don't want to stand, you could move to a different part of the Gallagher corner. So maybe the lower tier will remain seated, but the higher seats will be standing. But hopefully that might squeeze a few more seats in. Probably not as many as you'd hope, because it's more down to how many entrances are there, how many bars are there, how many toilets are there. They can't just now double the amount of seats in the Gallagher because they're stood up. But I think in due time that will help. But really, the big thing that we're all talking about is the Gallagher, but it's the extension of the Gallagher. We know, and I spoke about this in a video not too long ago, where I said that I believed that the developments on the Strawberry Place land looked like they were kind of coming to a stop. And it turned out a day later, it was because Newcastle had bought the land back. So I wasn't too far off with that one. But Amanda Staveley's been talking about it. They have been contacting architects. If you actually remember, Murdad, right at the start, when they came in as owners, said that they would do everything in their power to stay at St James's Park. There's been lots of conversations on will we stay, will we go, will we potentially have to move in the future just to have that huge stadium that potentially the owners will want. I won't ever write that off happening. It's not what I want to see, but I think for the immediate future and the money that we've got in the City Centre Stadium, what the fans want is to stay where we are. And to try and help with, as I mentioned, not having enough tickets, getting more people into the stadium, it's to increase the capacity. And as we know, Amanda has been talking to architects on the best way to do that. There are some obstacles with doing that. The road there, can we build over it like Atletico Madrid did? I think that's something that, honestly, seems a little bit out there, but I think it could well happen. There was conversations not too long ago about the opportunity to, in fact, build, as I say, hotels and restaurants as potentially part of the stadium for more executive seating to be at the top tier of the Gallagher. So it's not just how many seats are coming in, it's how the expansion can really benefit the club as well with extra revenues and what can be added. You let me know your thoughts on that down below, because it is kind of exciting to hear that, well, first of all, that they are actively working on the expansion options. Secondly, that with the potential of safe standing in a new invigorated stand could be massive for not just the club but the atmospheres at the games as well. Do you think bringing in Hotel on the Corner, which was spoken about a very long time ago and is kind of now coming back with this expansion talk, is that something that you're interested in, or do you just want to see the seats? You let me know your thoughts on that one down below. And I do want to talk about, and I will do videos on fan zones soon, because it's understood that as much as we want to get the Gallagher up and running, and I do believe that I talked about this with Matty from the Magpie channel in a few videos ago, had the takeover happened just a little bit earlier, and we could have made use of a season now where we've had the World Cup, the summer's coming up, it would have been a great time to maybe start looking at some of this stuff. Because it kind of happened a bit too soon, I feel like it's been pushed back a little bit. But because of that, talks are that we could well have something in place in the Strawberry Land this summer. And by that I mean fan zones, meeting areas, potential opportunities to use it while the planning process takes place for the expansion. So would you like to start heading to St James's Park Strawberry Development for pints, live music, talks from Newcastle fans in the sun before a game? Doesn't sound too bad to me. Let me know your thoughts on that down below. And to finish off, we have had confirmation that Newcastle will be travelling to the USA for their pre-season camp this summer, heading to Philadelphia, Atlanta and New Jersey. I think it's 8 days. 8 days? 8 days, a week-ish. I think there's up to as many as 9 games while they're out there. There's a few other Premier League sides travelling as well. It certainly makes a difference to when we went to York a couple of years ago. I know it was obviously Austria last summer. There was talks that it was going to be USA last summer as well, but just basically because of time constraints of organising things, it got pushed back. Well, it looks like they've got what they wanted to do this summer, and it goes back to revenues and promotions and sponsors and all that kind of thing being out there in the USA with some other Premier League teams. No doubt it will be televised, and we'll be able to watch it back here if you're not going. God, it's tempting, isn't it? But we'll have to wait and see. But yes, let me know your thoughts on all of that down below. Anthony Gordon, the stadium expansions, the pre-season tours, and Aston Villa coming up this weekend, and I will be back for a preview later in the week. Alright guys, I hope you have enjoyed this instalment of Toon Tuesdays. Took a little bit longer than I planned, but that is normally what I end up doing. So I hope you have enjoyed it, and if you are still watching over 15 minutes later and you haven't subscribed, please do hit that big red button. It really helps the channel. And yeah, I've got a busy week. It's the final final Toon Tuesdays I'll be doing. Not wearing a ring because I'm getting married this weekend, so hopefully I can squeeze in the Villa game depending on how we get on. But yeah, thank you all for watching, enjoy your week, and I'll catch you later.